Okay, cool. So we are streaming. So wonderful. So with
I don't know
that,
if he's
what's that? All right. Well, Tanim, go ahead
all
and take it
right.
away.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's failing, as I like to say to people. Try to. All right. So, am I sharing the whole screen now?
Let's see.
Okay. It's going to do it. Let's see if it can actually do it. There we go.
There we go.
There
Yeah.
we go. Let's fail at failing. So this is actually something I've given, I think, at least one time before. It's called, actually several times before, but this is called sending technical emails from the command line. So the idea is to pair technical emails with code blocks times LaTeX formula, all from restructured text. And the wrinkle, the thing that made me want to give this presentation again, is that I was able to also create images on disk that I'm able to now create valid soft convention of respect, and it will, and so bad. And I completely own that because I implemented Overway. So you had to generate an HTML document from the restructured text file or email file using this my RST to HTML module. It's part of this GitHub repo IVE underscore.
Tanim, can you hold on one second? We're getting some
manual.
issues. Can you hear me? Okay. We're getting some issues of you're breaking up pretty severely. I'm trying to figure out if there's
Yeah,
a
I can
way.
hear you.
Cool. You're breaking up pretty severely. Trying to figure out if there's a way to, like your audio is going out and then comes in a little bit and then out a lot.
Huh. How about now?
Right now it's sounding good. There
this
is
a
a
lot better? Well, technology sucks. How about now? Or is it still hyper terrible?
it's sounding okay. I noticed that there's like an alert on your stream that's showing that it seems like it says you have low bandwidth or something. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way, if there's anything I can do on my side. I don't think I can. Okay, it looks like it cleared up. So the alert went away. So let's go ahead and give it another try.
Now it went bad again. It's Comcastic. I'm sorry about that. Comcast here is basically a walking, talking war crime. I don't know. Hopefully this will work. Let's, I guess, hope for the best, I think, is the best I can do.
Sounds good.
I have no control over the bandwidth here. It is a war crime. Sorry about that. I'll just do the best I can, and hopefully I won't. Just let me know if it goes out again. We'll give the machinery a break and then restart. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's all I can promise. All right. So back to this. Basically, there was a whole manual process that made it really bad. And the final point is the only way it would work is the images that you referred to in the restructured text email had to be remote, HTTP, HTTPS URLs. That is, they were actually remote addresses. And now there's a better way called simple_email. And okay, what am I talking about here? Why the hell did I do this? I'm going to go through a send to investor schematic of what simple email does, both from the document side, how it slurps up things to create the HTML, and from the email client side, what exactly, how do I talk to the underlying SMTP server, either directly or via, an SSH tunnel. I'll go through some of the elements that go into its implementation. I'll go a little bit to the recent enhancement from the last time I talked, which was the SACPI presentation that I gave, which is the ability of simple email to take in email aliases, as two CC/BCC recipients, and to set up default, basically sender configuration and SMTP server configuration through this thing I have named Simple Email Config. For people who want to, I can demonstrate how it works with an email, a restructured text file, and on disk images, and talk about some enhancements in the end. So here's basically, you need a rich, information dense, concise email instead of random walking your way to a solution like this parrot. So the idea was, of course, to use restructured text to create these rich HTML emails, and have a command line tool to do so. So there are other efforts that I've seen, around the interwebs, where people have attempted to address this problem. And I've ordered it, in bullet points 3 and subsequently from the highest, people who give a damn and, actually eat their dog food to, who cares? This was basically a notch on somebody's performance assessment that year or on their resume, and they quickly forgot it. There's a thing I've seen called org mime, and maybe I can just show you exactly what I mean by that. So let's see if the internet works here. This is an Emacs mode. I know this place is a PyCharm shop, but I do all my coding up in Emacs, and there's an Emacs module that solves this problem. Basically, creating an email in a markup language, turning it into HTML. In this case, the markup language is, I think, org mode. Converting it into HTML, and then, of course, handing it off to an SMTP server. I think Emacs might have its own SendMail implementation, SMTP stuff there. So you can even do it through Emacs if you want to. But as far as I know, people have actually done this stuff, although I haven't tried it myself. Okay. There is the OrgMime tutorial on YouTube. I'm not going to really open that. There's even a really comprehensive and comprehensible blog post showing how they're doing what they're doing. Now, the other two are sort of like, who really cares? But I'm just going to click on this other one. So, the idea of using Markdown instead of restructured text to create these HTML emails. And I think the application that they use specifically is creating newsletters. And I think that's sort of the main one. And it was updated, I guess January 2020. And yeah, it looks like a good idea. The final bullet point, I'm showing here is the thing that was last updated, I think, in 2015. So not very useful. So are there any questions so far on this stuff? Anybody? Okay, I guess we're all good.
Yeah.
All right.
You're sounding better too, so that's good.
I'm sounding better. Comcast is being a little less awful right now, so let's hope it continues. Here's the send to investor schematic. Well, what exactly goes into this restructured text document? The thing that is the email object, the email being the HTML body. and the attachments on disk. There's of course the image files. There's image files in the cloud. The things I'm talking about, external URLs, the attachments that you have on disk. That are just sitting around there, and yeah, things are optional. Those HTML with attachments, also binary encoded inside it. Now, of course, the thing that goes for the email client part, this is an email, so what else goes in there? The sender, the two CC ones, and of course, wrapped up in a bow. You send that, final thing. I'm an expert on, the SendMail protocol. Python handles that stuff at the lower level to this SMTP server, and its relays no longer work. It's an SMTP server that's blessed and everything like that, and everything's open set now here. So the thing that I really changed was the soft convention, the improvement that I made over the docutils module that actually does most of the conversion, the parsing of the markup language into HTML. That's handled by docutils, and I'm not really touching that part. Taking that intermediate that takes disk, like embedded in the email, and converts them into these things called email server. And so you actually have image files, the PNG JPEGs TIFFs inside of them. Oh, is somebody asking a question in chat? Oh,
You were breaking
sorry.
up again. Sorry. Now that you
All
paused,
right.
you're sounding better again.
All right. I guess this is a chance to stop for questions, right? Because
that sounds good. I'll let you know when the icon goes away that you've
am I
gotten.
still breaking, bro?
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't hear you.
oh my God. The latency, I'm going to put this in here. Latency, I'm going to put it in the chat. This is really a war crime. Huh.
That's fun.
How now?
We still have the little icon, so I'm trying to figure out. I mean, it's like I feel like kind of what we're saying. There's only but so much we can do, but I'm definitely seeing like there's like a little exclamation point icon on your video. You know what? I wonder if it would do any better if you turned off your camera.
Yeah, let me do that. How about awful?
So far, it hasn't seemed to make a difference, sadly.
Well, we don't live in South Korea, so if we expect good internet, I think we're just going to be waiting a long time.
It does sound like it's caught up a little bit, so maybe worth continuing.
All right, the storm is past for now. Well, it's a natural break. Let me try to go through it. All right, so, uh, of course, the soft convention, and of course, the from to recipients, optional BCC and CC, and attachments. And here's what I mean by the bit of code that's the soft conventioning part. That is the actual image file on disk. This is the example called turn_cartoon.png. And the thing that shows 89, 90, 91 is the actual bit of restructured text code representing an embedded image in the or an image in the restructured text document. So what it does, it takes that actual, image element, that source element for the image, and does this conversion. I don't understand it very well. If people want to dive deep into it, it's basically adding a header to the converting it into an attachment, giving it a new coordinate, CID colon some UUID string, and then adding that header information into that attachment, that image converted into an attachment. And now, I think it's a security issue. It's just basically something that email servers like Google's, like my works, like a bunch of Exchange servers, they won't accept an email with images inside it that I get from on disk if I don't do something like that. At least I haven't found another way to do it. Here's the other thing that I that I'm actually I'm doing right now to make this process a little easier for me. Because the old way, the thing I described last month, and in fact, there's a YouTube video of that, I had to explicitly type out, the individual email addresses of all the two, CC, BCC recipients. I had to explicitly, give the SMTP server settings, like the server email address, the server port to use, the SMTP server port, and I had to explicitly, set up the sender, give his or her, well, in this case myself, my own email address. So this is sort of an example that I'm going to, here's how to just show the aliases. I did a little thing a few days ago that added a -h so that it's a privacy thing. So all it would do is, actually just show the email address, email aliases, rather than the recipient email addresses. And also added in this, just as an example of how to set up, how to actually add an alias in here. Here's sort of simple thing, how to actually set up the SMTP server settings and the SMTP port, and also to set up the sender's default identity so that, I don't have to explicitly specify that. And with that, I think, does anybody want to see a demonstration?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Bring it
Yes,
on.
please.
I would like to see one as well. Thank you.
All right. Does anybody have an email? I mean, you could private message me. I don't know how to do this on Discord.
Yeah, I
If
can
you
send
want
you
me
mine.
to. I could set up an alias for you and also, just basically show what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Let's.
I just PM'd you mine.
You PM'd me yours. Okay. Let's see if okay. Let's see, message requests, check it out. Let me stop streaming now, I think, because I don't want to show this. Is that fine for everybody? And
Yeah.
I'll just share the, I'll just share it once I get something from somebody. Okay, ZDM. Okay, and let me, Crazy Ham 2, correct?
Correct.
Is that your Christian name?
Yeah, that's my Discord name. Yeah, I'm a big
Okay.
Ray Lewis fan. For any footballers out there.
Okay, so I'm going to do a simple. I'm going to set you up with an email alias called Crazy Ham 2. All right.
Sure.
Add alias, and that's Twinkles in the background. Okay. I'm guessing you're Paul Langston Miller, right?
Yeah, very
I'm
good
just.
guess. I don't know how you got that.
I'm going to put in a fig leaf of. I'm not going to go through the history either. Okay, so you can sue me if I've, basically, what is it? Broken privacy. In fact, I insist on it. And now I'm going to share the screen, and I'm just going to share this one here, 15. So you're seeing something that says base. Oh, it's still running. All right. It says test RST email PyRVA 03 2023. Does anybody see that?
We sure do.
Yeah.
Okay. So simple email config show me. You see that? There it is. Show SMTP. See that? And in fact, this funky ass port is because I'm using an SSH tunnel to my machine upstairs, my server upstairs, which relays email to Gmail's SMTP server. There's a blog post I wrote about that too, which was, it was a non-trivial process. And hopefully I am not going to break privacy. Crazy Ham 52, there you are. All right, now I'm gonna see how I did this. And I'm not going to also do any info like sort of -I, which is, info debugging, which will spit out, people's email addresses. So here's what I'm gonna do. F, StackPy, L, what is it? A. Okay, let's see. Then we're going to 2. Let's see if I do Crazy Ham 52, and I guess Miss May, and all right, let's see if this works. Oh wow! All right.
Should I
Message
check my
size.
email?
What?
Should I check my email?
Not yet. It looks like I might have done something interesting. I think Google doesn't like me. So I'm going to. Oh, let me see what I did. Let me see. I'm going to do something. NC. What is it? 32.399. What is it? Localhost 32.399. Okay. Ooh. This is the. Ooh. So there's an NC command, right? V localhost 32.399. Let's see. Simple email config show SMTP. I think I forgot something. Set SMTP localhost P30. Let's see if this works. Alias. Ooh, okay. 32.398 localhost 25 Tanim. Oh, Tanim. All right. Let's see if this garbage will work.
Nothing like a live demo, right?
Yeah. All right. NCV localhost. Okay. Now let's try it out. Let's cook with fire. Ooh, message size exceeds fixed limit. Let's see if this thing will work because it used to work before. Oh, actually, I know what I need to do. You're going to get multiple emails. I'm sorry about that. I forgot how to set it up because, of course, the make file is actually incorrect. It was missing some stuff. Here we go. So has anybody received multiple emails yet?
Not yet.
Oh, look.
It looks like you also sent it. Oh, never mind. You did send it, Brian. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow, the latency just went away, huh? I wonder
have
why that was. Or anybody seeing anything?
not yet. Wait, so I'm a little newbie with the whole networking aspect of this. You have a server in your house and you connect to it through SSH?
Yeah, there's an SSH tunnel because it doesn't allow, I guess, it only allows sending emails through port 25 on my machine upstairs. I actually have to, it has to basically see I'm logged into that machine and I am from that machine upstairs
Hmm.
sending an email through port 25 to Gmail. I think that's what it does. I forgot the details. But what happened was, at this point, now what happened was, uh, I set up an SSH tunnel, so it's sort of like a mirroring thing. In this case, it was port 32398 on the machine I'm presenting from to my, the server upstairs. It says, okay, I'm sending stuff through port 32398 on this machine here. I know I'm overloading some indefinite pronouns.
I see.
And it appears as upstairs machine. It sees that email message through port 25 and says, okay, you're good to go. And that's the whole idea behind SSH tunnels. A good application for me is, my work blocks Plex connections. So I just have an SSH tunnel there, from some random port. Or no, it doesn't block Plex explicitly. It blocks the fact that, connecting to my Plex server at home, it blocks that. So I basically do an SSH tunnel so that now I can listen to music on my, server upstairs from work. Because, I don't like commercials and I don't like to pay for stuff.
I got your email.
You got my email. If you want, do you want to share what you're seeing?
Yeah. In fact, I just started
Let me
sharing.
unstream on my end.
It's okay.
Stop
You don't need
streaming.
to.
Oh,
So
sorry.
yeah. But yeah, this is the email. If you can see my stream, this is the email I
Oh,
got.
there we go. I'll go into the watch stream and I'm unsure of how Discord works. Yep, that's the this is the flavor of the kinds of emails I send at work now. Pretty much at least once or twice a day. And it's just getting, more and more frequent, especially if I've got a bunch of, technical stuff. And in fact, I think I even have an attachment, which is the bit of code, the actual restructured text, the markup language, used to generate this email.
I'll share that in just a moment. So I'll scroll back up. And then let's see if I can put both of them side by side so we can see what it looks like. And then there we go.
Yep,
So
there's
yeah, on the left is the email. On the right is the code that
markup
generated it.
language, the code basically used to create that email. And in fact, there's Sphinx documentation that shows how to do everything, because it also includes the PNG file and the GIFs that I use to actually create that email. So you can even try it yourself with your own sender to your own recipients, that sort of thing. There is a final thing. I mean, I should mention this. There's a implicit BCC because I want a record that I've sent the email. So there's an implicit BCC on my email address, so that I receive a copy that says, "Oh yeah, Tanim Islam sent the email to these recipients." So what is it? I guess Paul Crazy Ham 52. Do you know if you've received the email yet? Hello?
Looks like he's away. He has the headset off.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Oh
the
yeah, he's
long and
muted.
short of it.
Yeah.
It's a relatively short presentation because there might be some details of the implementation, but that's really all it is. Oh, did I give you the list of simple email config, show aliases? Yeah, I think I did, but I'll just show it again. Yep, it gives the list of email aliases that I have available. Oh yeah, final thing. I'll just show one last thing, the needs work part. Okay, so let me start streaming again. Share your screen. And in fact, in this case, I'm not going to show anything else. It's just going to be this presentation. There's this, there's this, there's this. Let me go to bugs and improvements. I did, fix the bleeding, URL problem, or the bleeding, URL problem that you pointed out, I think a month or so ago, right? Or more than a month ago, Chris? So that was the one thing I did. One thing I would like to do, if I have time, is, different syntax coloration. So I'm right now using basically the bare bones coloration of those code blocks, the code highlighting if it understands it's Python or whatever, and maybe even some LaTeX formulas. If I can use a sort of a richer coloration scheme like a read the docs as one, then it might look a little nicer. For instance, quotation blocks might look a little nicer. And I have an old, I don't run it anymore, GUI front end that does emails to like sort of newsletter like stuff. And there, I don't even know if it can consume restructured text. It might just do plain text and says, this is an HTML email. And, set up a GUI for that sort of thing. So maybe I don't need an initial step to proofread each HTML I create. The preview happens all in the same, command line tool. And the final thought, pride is too hard.
What's the opposite of shame? Pride? No, not that far from shame.
Less shame?
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, I guess with that, I can take questions, comments, things like that.
I have a question, but it's not about the presentation. It's more about this group as a whole. Do you want me to just hold it until later?
I mean,
Go ahead.
yeah, Chris, you can answer that, right?
Yeah.
I'm newer to programming, and I'm actually moving to Richmond in a few months. But I was mainly just wondering, is this for people that are, already in the industry, learning, or like a combination of both?
Both, absolutely. We're here to kind of help connect Python developers to resources and people that they can enjoy. A number of people have learned Python in the time they've been a part of PyRVA, and yeah, we don't necessarily at this point we don't have our resources together to like kind of help like create like resources, but of course the Discord's always here, so if you have questions you can always ask and you'll get plenty of support. But we'll have our topics also vary from beginners, try to be beginner friendly or have something for beginners, so you're very welcome here. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for creating this community.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to getting to know all y'all.
Rock on.
I have a question about the presentation.
Sure.
What are the, I guess, limitations that come with using this program? Can you send full-on videos, and are there like size limits on images or anything? Or
A very good question. Email HTML is a much reduced subset of the HTML spec. So in my experience, I haven't found a way to send like actual, say, MP4 files, although that's part of the HTML spec. That is a website that that's HTML5, right? You can put in some, embedded images. And in fact, I have some example blog posts that do just that. What I found worked, and you saw the example there, is an animated GIF. If I find, I need to send somebody a representative video, and just an example from a week ago, was I needed to send somebody an animation of this X-ray diagnostic that I'm simulating. And in that case, I had an MP4 file, and I have actually IVE_Tanim has code to convert that into an animated GIF. And so then I created a technical email that had the animated GIF in there. Limits on the size of images, well, that's, I think, server by server, or permission by permission, I should say. I think because I have this, I guess I set up permission on my own, and I've been a pretty good neighbor, at least a pretty good user of Google's services. For me, the image size that I've set up, on my server upstairs to relay, use an SMTP relay, is about 100 megabytes per attachment or per image. But I know that there's probably 30 or 40 megabytes per image if you just say use Gmail. I don't know. The spec allows for almost anything. The servers themselves have their own policies, and they don't necessarily publicize the policies, and they are very temperamental. So by that I mean if you abuse their undocumented policies too much, they might kick you off, and those policies change. So I just want to be straight with you.
No, for sure. Thank you for answering. I can imagine there's a lot of variance in how things can change as well, especially from Gmail.
But for me, like I use this day to day. I dog food this with my lab's workplace's SMTP server, and I haven't hit the limit, and it goes. The biggest things I send this way are like 30 megabytes in size. So, I don't know.
Good questions.
And I guess if you want to go through the API, dig into the guts, this is BSD2 licensed. I try to make it as permissive as possible. If you want to make a newsletter, this might be an interesting idea to take ideas from it, an interesting implementation to take ideas from it too, send stuff like that, at least in a fancier newsletter. And it might be a good way to learn restructured text if you want to create code documentation, for instance.
Yeah, is the GitHub link somewhere on this Discord?
Oh, I can put it in the chat if you want. Let me see if I can get this. GitHub.io. GitHub.io. Okay, let me just give you the link to the GitHub repo as well as the Sphinx documentation.
Okay.
Okay. Oh God, why is the user interface such a war crime? All right, documentation. Oh, sorry, that's actually the Sphinx. And let me do the other one. GitHub actually. .com Islam. Here we go. And I think there's a Python 3 pip installing this, or Python setup.py installing this should be fairly painless. There's a one last thing you need to do. You have to either have libmagic on your machine or install it somehow. Now, if it's Linux, I always do apt install libmagic. But it might be different, for instance, if you have a Mac or a Windows machine, because it uses basically the magic library to query file types, at least for other functionality, not the functionality that I exercised or demonstrated here, but like tools to auto-crop images, tools to create MP4 files, H.264 encoded, from a collection of PNGs or JPEGs or TIFFs as frames, create animated GIFs from MP4s, to create square aspected images. I think I used that a little bit to create some Instagram videos, I guess, for a while. When I made that functionality, Instagram would just clip out MP4 files that had the wrong, aspect ratio, wrong shape. And so this was something to get around that issue. That doesn't happen anymore. Image, video, email. That's what it is. Well, everybody's quiet. What is everybody else doing here?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. How about let me actually turn my video back on, and we'll end kind of like I said, like the main content of tonight, or at least the talk, right? Because we can keep going on and asking questions and general chatting, but to wrap things up, might as well give out the license, right? So actually, let's just wait for a couple minutes. Just a reminder, you can, in any of the chat places you can find, you can do the slash. Trying to find just whatever / raffle space enter, and you'll enter the raffle tonight. Just as a reminder, we've got how many? We've got 3 people entered, so you got now 4, so you got pretty good chance of winning. Okay. And I will also I'll go ahead and stop streaming to YouTube, since we're probably going to start chatting about things otherwise. So Tanim, thank you so much for presenting tonight. And
yeah, I should say I'm nicer here. At work, I started to, at least at the hour-long meeting, started to call out people in the audience if it gets too quiet.
Well,
what did you think of